Hey everyone, it's Rajiv and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be giving my book review of the second book in the Chandra series called Sita, Warrior of Mithila by Amish Tripathi. Before I start talking about the book, I would like to say that I post book-related videos daily on my channel, so please do like and subscribe. The story basically revolves around Sita and her life at Mithila before she met Ram. She is found as an abandoned baby in the field and is being protected by a vulture from a pack of wolves. She is then adopted by King Janak and his wife Sunaina, and she is brought to Mithila where they take care of her. Sita starts her life in Mithila and she grows up, and the book mainly continues as to her life and her adventures in Mithila, and it merges with book 1 where she meets Ram and marries him. Before I start on my review, I would just like to say that my review is going to contain spoilers because I am going to talk about the things which I liked and disliked about the story. Okay, so I need to take a deep breath before I start talking about this catastrophe. This book was so frustrating and so annoying to read. When I started reading Sita, Warrior of Mithila, I thought to myself, okay, so Sion of Ishwaku was not that great, but this will be better than that, right? And surely the author would not make the same mistakes in this book, right? Before I continue, if you want to know more about my thoughts and opinions on Sion of Ishwaku, I have posted a video on that separately, and I will mention the link below in the description. But while Sion of Ishwaku had problems of its own, I felt like Sita, Warrior of Mithila, was annoying to another level by itself. When I started reading this book, I actually liked the first 100 or so pages where we get to see Sita's life and her growing up in Mithila and attending the Gurukul and the interactions with her parents and with the sage Vishwamitra. I actually like the scene where she is introduced as a baby, where the vulture is protecting her from the wolves and Sunaina comes and she rescues the child and she decides to adopt her as her own. Her life and times at the Gurukul are actually very interesting, and I thought, wow, this book is actually not that bad. The story is pretty decent for the first 100 or so pages, where we get to see Sita growing up and her life at the Gurukul and her interactions with Radhika and just the life lessons that she learns. And I found myself liking it much better than the first book. But after the first 100 pages is where things started going downhill. As soon as Ram enters the picture and the whole Swayamvar scene starts again, this book is exactly the same as the first book. I'm not kidding. Seriously, the story is exactly the same. If the story in the two books were at least written from a first person narrative, then it would have at least been interesting to see the first book from Ram's point of view and the second book from Sita's point of view, as their perspectives might be different. But since both the books are written from a third person narrative, the author has actually copy pasted paragraphs from the first book to the second book. I actually picked both the books side by side and I was reading the chapters, and it's exact copy pasting. Even the commas and the full stops are exactly the same. There are some minor sentences that are added here and there, but honestly they do not have any impact because we already know what is going to happen because we've read the whole thing in the previous book. Oh no, wait. The author does add some random storyline towards the end about Lakshman saving someone in this Jallikattu sport and Jatayu's flashback in Mumba Devi, which actually was a little interesting, but it did not have anything to do with the main storyline. The only two new characters who I remotely liked and enjoyed reading about was Mara, the assassin, and Sunaina, and I wish the author had focused more time on them. There is a twist that happens towards the very end of the book in the last page, but by then I was so bored out of my mind from reading 70% of the reused material from book 1 that it honestly did not have any impact on me. It is very sad to see a talented author like Amish sell out his books in this manner with hardly any new material. Both the first book and the second book could have been easily merged into one book and it would have still come to only around 500 pages. But no, the author had to make the series much more profitable, so he split it up into two books to make more money out of it, which is really sad. In my opinion, they could have had Ram and Sita's story as the first book and Raavan's story as the second book, and Vashishta and Vishwamitra's history and flashback as a third book, which would have been really amazing. As I'm reading these books back to back, I just hope that the next book in the series, Raavan, is not a disappointment and it redeems the series, in my opinion. I'm sorry for the rant, everyone, because even a reader's time is valuable when they invest their time to reading a book. And it is somewhat disrespectful and an insult when the author, especially someone of Amish's stature who has so many fans following him, does not even respect his fans to write something completely original instead of just copy pasting reused material from his previous novel. So overall, Sita, Warrior of Mithila was even more disappointing than Sion of Ishwaku, and I would give this book a rating of only 1.5 to 2 stars, if I'm being generous. If you have read this book, then what are your thoughts and opinions on Sita, Warrior of Mithila? Did you find it frustrating as much as I did, or did you actually enjoy reading it? If you like this video, then please do like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.